Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the mountains haven't forgotten Amber Spradlin as the family continues to look for answers. And based on recent numbers, Kentucky could have one of its largest voter turnouts ever this year.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. We are just past 5:30 on Tuesday, February 20th. Now let's send it over to meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast this morning.
Good morning, Olivia, and good morning, everyone. Just a few clouds dotting the skies. We've gone through the overnight period, and outside our door, it's clear and 27 here in Hazard. The weather headline shows after a gorgeous day yesterday, another beauty today and another one for tomorrow before we deal with some showers to come up ending the work week and a cold shot of air coming into play Friday night and into Saturday. Temperature wise, it is 35 at Jackson, 27 here in Hazard. And again, the satellite weather composite, just a few clouds dotting the sky over the last few hours. We look back to the west and this disturbance is rotating through the flow. Leading edge of clouds crossing over to 65, getting into Somerset and Wayne counties right now, or at least over your counties. And it's also losing its punch on the northern extent. So I believe we're just going to deal with some cloud cover issues as we head through the course of your Tuesday, averaging out to being a partly cloudy day and a high this afternoon in Hazard getting to 56. More about the First Alert 7-day forecast coming up in just a few moments. Olivia?
All right, Tim, thank you. The demand for justice for Amber is echoing from the hills to the highways. Amber Spradlin's family and supporters rented 2 billboards in Floyd County to spread the story of her June murder, hoping to keep her face on the minds of those involved in her death. The family believes investigators are doing all they can, but they say someone coming forward with a confession would bring the answers they need.
The amount of the evidence that needs to be analyzed, and with no one assisting by talking, then they have to get all their information from what they've gotten at the crime scene.
One billboard is located in Prestonsburg and the other on US 23 in Allen. The billboards were rented with money from a nonprofit in Spradlin's memory. A Florida man is facing charges after he reportedly told police he was using his cell phone while he crashed into another vehicle. It happened Sunday night on Interstate 75 in Laurel County, about 8 miles from London. Deputies say 49-year-old Jonathan Brantley rear-ended another vehicle. A pregnant woman was in the vehicle that was hit. The woman was flown to a hospital. Brantley was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. A Michigan man is behind bars after police say they found drugs on him. It happened in the early morning hours Sunday. Deputies with the Knox County Sheriff's Department say they learned of large quantities of meth and fentanyl being delivered to the Corbin area. After an investigation, police say about 3 ounces of suspected meth and fentanyl were found in 29-year-old DeMarcus Johnson's possession. Johnson was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. In Madison County, the sheriff's office is talking about efforts to get drugs off the streets. The sheriff's office says in the last 5 years, deputies have seized more than $2.6 million in drugs. That includes more than 10 pounds of heroin, 8 pounds of fentanyl, and close to 4 pounds of meth. The sheriff's office says the amount of fentanyl seized in the last 5 years was enough to potentially kill 2.5 million people. A Southern Kentucky organization is seeing a large increase in homelessness. They say drug abuse, mental health concerns, and other factors are leading to the jump in people losing their homes. A new organization is working to reverse the trend. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on the work they are doing from the people who are benefiting firsthand.
Volunteers and those receiving help were gathered at Somerset's Wesleyan Church Monday.
Homeless, I've been homeless for about 2 or 3 years. I was in motels and stuff, and then I couldn't afford to stay in the motels anymore. so therefore I had to stay in my car.
Now she and about 10 others are staying at the church and receiving help from a group that is simply called Help the Homeless.
It's just overwhelming, the need here in Pulaski County, that there's just limited resources, and we are solely community supported.
We have a lot of foot traffic every day. Some days we average 60 to 70 guests in our day office. Our overnight sleep station, we keep right around 10 guests.
There are a number of different reasons why someone would be labeled as homeless. Many different circumstances that result in someone simply not having a place to call home. Sometimes it's mental illness or substance abuse. Lana Brown says the organization has been able to help her family, but primarily her son.
We still be out there in a bandit house trying to stay warm and find out where his next meal was coming.
Luster says they're finding people under overpasses, in alleys, and even in dumpsters. Things are starting to change for some.
And we're really seeing lives changed and people transition from being on the streets to in their own homes.
In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
The Help the Homeless organization has several fundraising events, including one this Wednesday night. We have more information on that and other links to ways to help. You can find that on WYMT.com. One nickel doesn't seem like a lot of money by itself, but when numbers at the pump begin to rise, that 5 cents adds up to a lot more. According to GasBuddy.com, the price of gas has increased nearly 5 cents in just 1 week. Diesel has increased 10 cents. The surge has many asking why. GasBuddy's head of petroleum, Patrick DeHaan, says it is because the largest refinery in the Midwest had an electrical outage at the beginning of the month, and the results are hitting your wallet.
That refinery can produce up to 10 million gallons of gasoline every day, and that refinery has been mostly shut down as a result of that.
He shared that even though post-Valentine's Day typically marks an annual increase, 2024 is unique because surges of winter weather started that increase earlier. The numbers are out for voter registration for the month of January in Kentucky. Secretary of State Michael Adams announced there were about 6,700 new voters that registered last month, marking the 10th consecutive month that numbers have increased. In a statement, Adams said that the numbers suggest November could have the highest voter turnout in decades. If you have not yet registered, there is still time before the May primary. April 22nd is the last day to register for the primary. The last day to request an absentee ballot is March 5th. The last to register for the general election in November is October 7th. Mountain Comprehensive Health Corporation now has a mobile health clinic. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox tells us how they plan to mobilize their services.
Administrators wanted to address a lack of public transportation to healthcare providers.
During COVID and during the flood, we identified that, not all of our patients have the ability to make it to the clinic.
Now with a mobile health clinic, MCHC has the ability to reach more people in the 7 counties they serve.
It will essentially be like a mountain comp clinic on wheels.
With several items they can reasonably stock onto the unit.
We'll be able to, do preventative health screenings. We'll be able to do immunizations. We'll be able to do, chronic health screenings. We'll be able to, check your diabetes.
And the mobile clinic is handicap accessible.
So it is set up to be fully handicap accessible, and it does have a patient lift to be able to accommodate patients in wheelchairs or even just those who may have difficulties with steps.
Bates says they plan to have it open in early spring.
If they see that it's located in their community and they just want to pop in and be seen, they can do that just the same.
Bates says appointments can be made on their website, mchcky.com, when the schedule becomes available. In Whitesburg, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Chris Bates also says they plan for the mobile unit to be open throughout the year. Eastern Kentucky educators recently visited Houston to attend the Science Exploration Educators Conference. The educators were from Bell County Schools and Middlesboro Independent. They were selected by astronaut John Schaffner. The attendees were able to access top-level resources and make industry connections. They also got a behind-the-scenes tour of NASA and a private tour of Axiom Space. Well, could the next American Idol have connection to Butcher Holler? Loretta Lynn's granddaughter, Emily Russell, auditioned for this season of ABC's American Idol. Emily is the daughter of Patsy Russell, one of Loretta's twin daughters. Emily will appear on next Sunday's episode. You might remember that she sang Lay Me Down with Willie Nelson's son Lucas during Loretta's memorial service on CMT. The Johnson County native died in 2022 at the age of 90. And tickets for Keeneland's spring meet in Lexington go on sale today. Races run every Wednesday through Sunday from April 5th through the 26th. Tickets for dining, grandstand reserve seating, and general admission are available. Still to come, Starbucks is thinking of the future as it opens its first store made for accessibility.